You know, I talk about the Nintendo Switch an awful lot on this channel. I mean, you can see all the games I got behind me. And it's for a good reason. It's probably my favorite modern console right now. And yes, I hear so many of you complaining right now about how the Switch isn't a modern console, it's built on old architecture, and you're right, I mean, I can't argue that. But that does not change the fact that it remains my most played console right now. More than my Series X, more than my PS5. The Nintendo Switch is #1 for me. And over the last couple of months, you guys have seen me review some stuff from my friends at Alxum. They've done the Switch game card reader. They did the one that was originally the one where you had to press the button on it to swap between the 4 carts. They did one recently that had a remote control, and there's a new thing that they've sent me to review, and we're going to be talking about that today. And that is a dock that you can actually use to switch carts. Now we're going to do a quick unboxing of this. I'm going to hold stuff up, show it to you. A heads up, this isn't a blind unboxing for me. I've already unboxed this, so it doesn't really do any good to show you what it looks like inside because I didn't put it back the right way. I haven't used it yet. We're going to find out together how it performs. Inside, you'll find this guy right here, and you can see it does have the tactile button. It's got the slots on the back. Got space for 4 cartridges to swap between. It's also got space for 1 storage. It has 3 USB-A ports, which is pretty cool. It's got an HDMI input, and it does have a LAN port as well if you want to have your Switch connected. When I initially looked at it, I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but I do like that it's actually got kind of a flip top here. And as you can see, it's got the USB-C dongle there, so we just put our Switch in place, we make sure it works, and we go from there. Also included is a USB-C cord. One of the things I do like about this dock, though, is because when they initially told me about this, I was kind of like, well, I mean, it's a nice idea, I guess, but it doesn't really do anything different than what the other stuff does. But it is a dock, and docks are nice to have. It's always good to have an extra dock, but I do like that this one does have the remote control puck, so you're actually able to swap games on the go. So we're going to head over now to the studio. We're going to get this all set up. We are going to hop in and see how it performs. And we're just going to do the same thing we always do when we test an Alxum dock. We're going to hop into game. We're going to use 4 different games. We're going to see how this performs. We're going to make sure the games load, and then we're going to see if things react correctly when the cartridges are popped out. Make sure we're getting the correct warning signs, and then just check game performance. And I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. So let's get over to the studio. Let's take a look, and I'll be right back. All right, so we are hooked up. Everything's ready to go, and the most important thing, of course, is to see if it even turns on. So let's do that. I will say, didn't immediately get picked up by my HDMI switcher, which is a little bit troubling. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, all right, it went through finally. Okay, that is probably an issue with my switcher. I've been having some troubles with it, so not gonna write things off too much just yet. But let's see if we're gonna be able to switch. All right, now I'm gonna press the button. Well, that's not good. This is troubling. This is ponderous, man. Really ponderous. All right, we're gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna read the manual. I'll be right back. So as it turns out, if you read the instruction manual, things work a lot better. I'm old and my mind is enfeebled. So the nice thing about this is that it is a standard dock. I do find it a little odd. You do have 3 USB ports on the back, but one of them is used to power the card switcher, which I think is interesting, rather than just drawing power from the Switch power supply itself. And I will say it is a bit of a tight fit to actually get the card into the card reader on the Switch itself. The cord is just, it could be, if it was like an inch longer, it would be perfect. You can get it in there, but it is a tight squeeze.
That's what she said!
But now let's experiment. Let's make sure everything works correctly. So we have our puck here. As you can see here, we have our main menu for the Nintendo Switch. I was just playing the Contra Operation Galuga demo from the Partner Direct the other day, which is, it's okay. It's not bad. It could be a lot worse. It's not as bad as some people are making it out to be, but it could also be a lot better. I do expect more from WayForward, so hoping that's just reflective of the state of the demo, not the final title. But so we're going to push the button now on the puck. We're going to switch our cartridges, and you can walk through and see which games are going to be playing today. So first up, we have Runner 3, which is one of my favorite rhythm games. We have Streets of Rage 4, which is a fantastic beat 'em up. Darksiders, which I've never played before. This will actually be the first time I'm playing it. And we have, from Nintendo, Metroid Dread. So first things first, we are going to hop into Runner 3. We're going to see how this performs. We're going to make sure that everything is working fine and dandy and that it is picking up control correctly and it actually is displaying right. I will say sometimes on a third-party dock, I do have some issues with it displaying a little bit funky when I put it onto a TV, but this one looks great. It's actually displaying perfectly well. It looks good. and I'm really pleased about that. So if you haven't played Runner 3, Runner 3 is a rhythm running game, and it's absolutely brilliant. And it's nominated. It's narrated by Charles Martinet. We're just going to go into the first level, mainly because I want to. This is a game I originally discovered on Steam. Runner 2 I discovered on Steam, and I loved it there. And Runner 3 is just such a fantastic title. I really wanted to get this signed by Charles Martinet at Torg last year, but just didn't have the opportunity to, unfortunately. So yeah, you can see here, it's pretty basic. But control's great, and it's responding perfectly on this dock, which I really like. One of the reasons I wanted to go with rhythm is because that rhythm games can sometimes have some, for lack of a better term, some delay in the way they're controlling and the way they're playing, based on input delay. And I'm not experiencing that here, which is really nice. Like, I press the button, and Commander Video jumps, and that's really all you need in a rhythm game. And I think it looks great. Like, it's absurdist. It really is, but it's the best kind of absurdist because it's just fun, and it's silly, and the backgrounds are... It's the kind of game that's kind of a treat for anyone to play, because when you're playing the game as the player, you don't really have time to focus on the backgrounds, but if you watch someone else play it, there's always something crazy going on in the backgrounds, which is fun to see. It's one of those series that I just have a lot of fun playing. It's just got such a great soundtrack, and it's so much fun to play, and there's so much just ridiculousness in the title that you can't help but love it if you play it. Now, I am on a gold run here. I only had 99 out of 100 last time, which is embarrassing. So I want to get the whole shebang here, and there's all 100. And that's a good day. And now, of course, as is tradition, we launch Commander Video into the bullseye. And we hope... Oh, not a bullseye. Not a bullseye. This control's great. Let's hop on to the next game. One of the things I can say about every Alxum product that I've tried so far is that game performance is undoubtedly spot on. It is fantastic. So this will be brief. I'm just going to hop in a game. We're going to beat some folks up, and we're going to hop out and move on to the next game, because I don't really see the need of spending a ton of time with it, because I know they control well. I know they work well. This is essentially the same thing as the one that attaches to the back of a standard Switch dock. It's just all in one. All right, who should we play today? Should we be Axel, or Blaze, or Cherry, or Floyd, or Adam, Estelle, Max, or Shiva? I'm thinking... Oh, let's go Blaze, and we'll be white hair Blaze. Aw, did the green shirt police officer get taken out? Oh, this is the Iron Fist... Dollar Tree Iron Fist I gotta fight here now. And that's okay. It's controlling great. I love it. It's awesome. Oh, back-to-back German suplexes. Oh, he headbutted me, you big jerk. One of my favorite beat-em-up tropes is that all the characters that you beat the crap out of have names. Like, yeah, take that, Francis. Alright. Control's great. Let's move on to the next one. So yeah, Streets of Rage 4 plays great. We're gonna move on now. Up next is Darksiders War Mastered Edition, and yeah, this is the first time I've ever played this one. The first Darksiders game I ever played was Genesis, was the last one. And I got that for, I think, like $6 or $7 or something like that one day on Amazon, and I was just blown away by the quality of it. And I'm excited to try this one, because there's... Once I got into Genesis and I realized how much I dug the story, I stopped playing it. And I just haven't gone back to play these, just because there's always a million games to play. You guys understand how that goes. But this one I'm really excited about, and I've been told by a lot of people how great it is. My friend Jen from Retro Rivals has told me it's great, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. Oh, is this Joe Madureira artwork? Oh, I didn't know that. We'll go normal. We'll go normal, because I'm not gonna pick easy, but I'm not dumb enough to pick I'm not dumb enough to pick really hard. Well, this is very different than Genesis. Oh, I like you. Oh, it's got Z-locking too, like Ocarina. Oh, I'm gonna like this game. Oh yeah, get down here, biggin. Let's fight. You look like a reject from the pit. Chaos Fall. Ooh, that's cool. I love that everyone who has ever played this game before is sitting here just going, Jay, yeah, we know. This game looks great. It's... Why are you acting surprised? It's because I never played it. It didn't appeal to me for some reason at the time. Oh, yes, come here, puny humans. Oh, never mind. Yes, war is here. Woo, hi, let's go, war. War, he's our guy. He is going to make you fry. So, do I just stay in this crazy-ass form now? Or what? Oh, I can drop out of the chaos form. Oh, okay. Judgment approaches. Well, that's not nice. Well, there's no better way to spend a Friday afternoon than by slaying some angels, huh? Love it. Gotta love that's the way we revert the apocalypse, is by taking out the bad guys. Which are the good guys, I guess. Depending on your particular purview of organized religion. I really like this game. I am going to stop, though, because it's playing really well, and I kind of want to check out Metroid, and I want to know what's going on with the storyline. So we're going to stop this here, and I will hop over to Metroid. And this is going to be the one where we actually test the card removal to make sure that it's throwing the correct error and everything like that, and not just taking us out. And I know for some people that's not a big deal, but for me, I want to make sure that it's making sure the hardware is operating correctly, because if there's any fluctuation in how the hardware works, that could damage saves, it could damage games, and it's important to me to make sure that that functions. So bear with me on what to some might be a silly test, but I definitely do enjoy this game. I don't know. It's one of those games that I have to play in small doses, and that seems to be every Metroid game for me. Again, except Super Metroid, which I can play for hours on end without a problem. But for some reason, like this one, I will admit the loading time does kind of kill me a little bit. But for this one, it was just like I could play it for like a half hour, and then I'd be like, okay, I need a break. And I didn't like that I couldn't control the game with the plus control pad. I don't mind having to use sticks, but if I could, I want to use the control pad, because the plus control pad is just like, especially for a 2D game, I just like the fidelity of it better. We're just going to pop the cartridge out now, or simulate popping the cartridge out now, and make sure that the game throws the correct error message. And it does, which is important. If it didn't throw the correct error message, as I said, there could be damage to the system, damage to the cartridge. And I do like that it does that. I think it's interesting that it stays on the Metroid, though. Like, it's something where I have to actively toggle. Like, it skipped over Runner. Interesting. Let's try that, too. Let's hop into Runner real quick and just immediately pop the cartridge out and see if it's going to skip over whatever the next in line game would be, which would be Darksiders, I think. So, here we go. Once we get in game. Howdy, Junior Commanders. Pop the card. Alright, so... Oh, no, it did put me on Streets of Rage 4. Okay, it's just a weird little glitch. Alright, let's go back to the other camera, and we'll get our final thoughts on the Alxum Switch card reading dock, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, so final thoughts on the Alxum Switch Docking Station and game card reader with remote control. It's a bit of a mouthful to say, but this thing... Oh boy, I need to clean my screen. So final thoughts on the Alxum Switch Docking Station with remote control card reader. I think this thing's pretty great. I do have a couple of complaints, and it's kind of the same thing I always have complaints with when it comes to stuff like this. Like, my biggest problem is that this cord here, the one that goes from the actual dock into your card reader on your Switch, is very short. It's a very tight fit, and that makes it a little bit hard to make sure things are in place. I also find it curious that I have to power it, not the Switch itself. I don't mind having to have power onto a Switch dock. That would be absurd if I did. I find it weird that I have to power the actual card reader. So the USB-C cord that it shipped with is a power cable, just not for the dock, it's for the card reader. You have to utilize one of your 3 USB ports and plug it in to this USB-C port on the outside, and that's what powers the card reader. Which, again, a little weird to me. Like, I would think that would be something you would make sure that you had just kind of powered all in one, but at the end of the day, it's kind of me looking for something to nitpick on. It's weird, and the cord is way too long to power it, and the cord to actually make it work, that ribbon cable that actually plugs into your Switch card reader, is a little too short to make it work perfectly, but at the end of the day, it still works great. It does exactly what it sets out to do. I think it's a spectacular substitute for a standard Switch dock. It works brilliantly well. There's going to be a link in the description down below if you're interested in picking this up. It's not an affiliate link for me. I think it's a great dock. I think it's something that works really well. It's a nearly $60 purchase, so it's not really an impulse buy. It doesn't quite get to that point, but if you're looking for an alternate Switch dock, if you're looking for something to replace a Switch dock that's maybe not functioning anymore, if you're just looking for an extra dock to have in the house so you can attach it to a different TV, I think this is a pretty good option. Now, it's not OEM, and it's not OEM quality, and I think everyone understands that, but I do like the things that are built in. I do like that it has the LAN port. I do like the number of USB ports, even though one of them is automatically taken up. And I really like just kind of the form factor of it. I like that it folds up and I can just toss it in my backpack if I'm going away for the weekend. It's nice to have. We'll say the standard Switch dock is a little bit bulky, and I'm always worried about it breaking because it's got that kind of cavern in the middle of it where you have to slide the Switch into. This doesn't have that problem. You can just fold stuff over. I love that I'm able to have 4 cartridges inserted at once, that I'm able to hot swap using the remote. I like that it's got one extra storage one as well for just an extra game. It's a really cool device. I think it's very neat. I think with some slight tweaks to the form factor and some slight tweaks to some of the aesthetics of it, it would be nearly perfect. But for me, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. If you'd like to see more reviews like this in the future, let me know as well down in the comments below. If you're interested in helping the channel out in any way, I do have a Patreon. You can always support it that way. I do have channel memberships here. You just click that join button down below. If you're new around here, you want to see more Switch content, I'm doing Switch stuff every month. Just hit that subscribe button. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.